What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. We are here to get through this draft series. Oh, my sweet Lord, we are 1 week away from the draft. We've got two more positions to go through tonight, the corners, then, of course, the safeties. Hopefully, you've been enjoying all of the content throughout this draft season, talking about each and every position during this series. And look, the Eagles, Super Bowl champions, baby, and we knew we were going to lose some people. We're going to be adding people, so stay calm. We've got picks. Get excited because the Eagles are going to add some great additions here in this draft next week, and I think that this team is going to continue to build, show that it is a contender, try to build that dynasty we've been talking about. So let's jump right into this. Appreciate all of you taking the time, hitting that like button, sharing, subscribing, all the things you do. I cannot thank you enough, honestly. So love to hear from you. Any thoughts you have on this draft, any questions, whatever's on your mind. But let's jump right into this with the Eagles draft picks. You know that we have 8 of them. We'll be waiting all the way to the end. Possibly. We know how he can trade up, trade back, do whatever he wants. We got 4 fifth-round picks. He wants a 6th, a 7th. He can do it. If he wants to move up in any of these rounds, he will do it. So he's a madman. We'll see what he does in this draft. But you got 8 picks this year. And then, of course, you have yourself an arsenal here to trade. So, look, 26 total picks you see here, 23 that you can trade during this draft, do whatever you want with. The Eagles, look, they want to continue to get better, add talent, and there's a lot of talent in this draft. So we'll see how things shake out. But, oh, man, I cannot lie to you. I think this is going to be another phenomenal draft. And I have no idea how these things are going to go. None of us do. We can only hope that it goes the way we talk about. But let's, take a look at some of this talent and look at what we've got going on like we do at each position and see where we should, get excited when we're looking at these positions, in my opinion. But love to hear your opinions as well. But let's take a look here at where I have the cornerback. So, obviously last year we used our first couple picks on 2 of my top fits during this series last year. I still can't believe we got Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, but we did, and it's fantastic. But we lost Darius Slay. This is a passing league, and I know a lot of people are fans of Kaylee Ringo, this, that, the other thing. But look, I think that there is a need there. So let's take a look at what we have and why I have them at number 2 here. Look, I think that this team is stacked. So you're really looking for depth in most positions or people to push for these roster spots at these positions where we have question marks. So you know about Q Mitch, you know about Coop, but Ringo, Ricks. Now you signed Adoree Jackson, brought back Nickerson, Castro Fields, and Woods. So, I mean, you've got competition there, but you lost Slay. You lost his backup in Rogers, Maddox, and Bradbury. Okay, that's fine. But, you lost a lot of guys here and a lot of question marks as to, Adoree Jackson got benched on the Giants, who suck last year. So I'm happy to have him as a veteran. Hopefully this system helps him. I'm hoping the best for him. Not to knock him, just saying I would look to add, some competition here in this draft, and there's loads of it. So if you can build something like when I was younger, when you had Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown, even, before Asante Samuel days, I know he was there, but, and actually Lito went to the Jets or something like that. Old brain's leaving me, but you had Al Harris back in the day. We had some corners, baby, and it was really enjoyable to watch. And I think that even when I was a kid, Eric Allen, Mark McMillan, some really great corner duos. We have Coop and Q Mitch. If you add someone that can play outside, maybe dabble, Coop, we know can play inside, outside, safety, all that great stuff. I just think a lot of options here, and I would be okay with having a great secondary for the future. You know what the front looks like. We know we could add there. We talked about some of those positions already. Well, most of them. We got the safeties left. So let's take a look at these prospects, then we're going to get into the top fits, but love to hear your thoughts. Here are my end of day 3 guys, and some talent here for sure. And I was really trying to make this show way shorter. I didn't want to have to pick so many players, but there were so many that I wanted to talk about. But you can find little diamonds in the rough. You can see some of these names during camp. But, if you're looking to upgrade, and there's definitely some options. And look, these guys could definitely go higher. I think, some of these options like Kobe Bryant, Quincy Riley this is a crapshoot, man. However teams feel about them, longer beam, had a good year. So there's you had Kone, who went to Western Michigan, but a great talent there. So look, for me, I just try to put these together as best as I can for you guys. You let me know how you feel about it, but I just kind of give you an idea where I think these guys go and where I think the Eagles should be looking. So around 2, 3-ish, I think Amos, could possibly be a first rounder. Same with Benjamin Morrison, Revel, Harrison, Porter, Thomas, Parrish, Strong are some really good corners. And I think, if the way things shake out, these could be going into round 3 possibly, but definitely some second rounders at the top of that list there. And we'll talk about a few of them here. But number 1, round 1 list, I think, Travis Hunter is a freak of nature. I love his game, and whoever gets him is getting a really talented guy. Whatever they want to use him as, a corner or receiver, he can do it all. Really fun to watch. But when it comes to other guys, Will Johnson to me was really effing fun to watch. And then Jahdae Barron, where, I think super talented. A lot of these guys that we're going to talk about are very talented. And I've actually seen some people kind of knocking Barron's game at times. I don't understand that. I think very talented. And to me, this, class has some guys you could find. And you could see some of those names I had on that other list definitely going in day 1. So we're going to talk about that here. I'm going to show you my top fits. Again, love to hear your thoughts. You like some of these guys I'm talking about. You want to hear about somebody else. You have thoughts on someone else. Love to hear from you. Let's start it off. This guy actually visited with the Eagles, and sorry, don't have much in the stats category for him just because there was nothing on PFF, anything like that, but went to Minnesota for 4 years, 22 years old here, 5'10", 190. So, you think at that size, okay, got to play inside, but he can definitely play outside. And this is a kid I really enjoyed watching. He's got speed, obviously, with that 4.4 speed. But he was really good in zone coverage. I thought he played, pretty tough for his size. You like to see that when, they're that size. Had some damn good ball skills. And I thought he's somebody that's probably going to drop a little bit just because of, the negatives there that didn't get a lot of turnovers. I think he has it in him. I don't think, more than zone is what he's capable of. So one of those guys that starts on special teams, you hope you find a diamond in the rough. But I think somebody that just needs some work, some development, but he's got a lot of talent. And I think that this kid could definitely be a surprise in the NFL, maybe go be a nickel corner somewhere. Didn't have him at the top of the list just because we've got a nickel corner and not sure he's the future out there. And maybe you sign him, but as an undrafted free agent, and I'd be really excited. But we're going to look at some other guys here, and we'll talk about it. But up next, this was actually another player that visited with the Eagles, Jacob Parrish, who I think could go in the round 2, maybe round 3. Definitely somebody I thought I'd be excited about. But again, that size is something that it's not that I'm saying you can't take them, because the kid definitely can play outside. He's played well, in man and in zone. That's something you'd like to see. And I think that all these guys are going to mention have a lot of the things we're looking for, but he mirrors players well. I thought that he was someone that, just kind of showed that if they show me when I'm looking for, a guy that can come out, play special teams, do things at that size, I like that. Maybe you can convert them to a safety. He's got 4.35, speed, but is that really what you want to use on that, 64th pick in the 3rd round? If he falls, maybe this is an option. You think about just using him as a defensive back in sub packages, but I like Jacob Parrish. I know the Eagles brought him in and we're talking to him. I think that, he's somebody I would not mind, but definitely some options we're going to look at a little closer up here. And another visit, but you can see, Hairston got banged up last year, only played in 7 games there, but 6'1" with 4.28 speed. I know that makes people lose their minds. That's not everything. But he did have, what I thought was some elite skills on the field. So this is a kid that if you put him in the right system, I think he'd be great in, the zones, and the coverages we play here. Vic Fangio could definitely use a kid like him. But I think that he has great route recognition. This is somebody that he does have the skills. It's not just about speed. But he is a small dude when it comes to, I've seen him listed at like 170, 185-ish. So it's all over the place, but he needs to get stronger if he's going to play against some of these bigger receivers in the NFL. But I think that he could definitely get there. He's only 21 years old. So, you always see this stuff out there about players, like they can't do this, that, the other thing. But I think you develop him and you've really got a talented player here. So wanted to put him on the list. I've got a hefty list here. So, but Hairston made it on here. That shoulder injury, you hope that he comes back from. You never like to see anybody getting banged up, but it is football. But maybe he falls in the second, third round. You want a corner. This is a dude I would definitely be very excited about to get on the Eagles. Up next, this is a player that I think definitely first round-ish worthy before he got that hip injury. Only played in 6 games there, but Benjamin Morrison, man, I really enjoyed his game out of Notre Dame. He's got that 4.39 speed, and dude, this is a number 1 corner. Like, this dude's definitely, I think, he's got all the skills. He's got the football IQ. I think that he's got great route recognition. I think he's got great, the speed there obviously helps. 6 foot 193. I've seen some things about him, being undersized. Look, man, that's like the same size around Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I think if you watch him, he's really talented. I don't think that, he's horrible in any aspect because of his size. So to me, I think he needs some development. He could definitely fall because of that hip injury. He had hip surgery. So that's concerning for people. But I think when he does play, he's really talented. So if he falls, this would be somebody I would be quite excited about the Eagles. I would love to have him. I just wouldn't use a higher pick on him. So, but I'm a fan of Benjamin Morrison. Now up next, Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. And, not that Kobe, you get it. But this kid, I think this is a sleeper pick, man. And if things are going the way people project and how it's looking, and for me, Kobe Bryant, I think is going to be a starting corner in this league. I think he is really fun to watch. This is a guy that he's got those ball skills you're looking for. He's got that toughness. He would be great in this zone, and it's more so match zone. You've got a lot of man concepts in there, but I think he can do that. He's a good press corner. He's somebody that I think has that toughness to make it in the NFL. He's 180. I've also seen him listed as 175, another smaller guy. So he's, maybe got to add a little bit. He only, has that 4.53 speed. I think that that's something that may concern some people. I get it, and that may hurt him. But, maybe in his zone defense, it could be the sky is the limit for him. I really like his game a lot. 62.7 passer rating allowed there. You can see, this kid, he's definitely got the skills. 23 years old. I'd be happy to have him. I just don't know that that'd be my number 1 fit here. But if in the later rounds you're looking, he has fallen, I'm all about it. Now, Jalen Smith, this is another visit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And out of USC, you want to talk about toughness. This is a kid I really, really liked, and I wanted to put him higher on the list. But I try to incorporate everything. He's got 4.45 speed, and I think he does a little bit of everything well. He's just one of those football players. And I think he does, well in man and zone. And I think in this defense, you got to be able to do that. He blitzes well. A damn good tackler. He was really fun. I think he had that, toughness. Now, I don't know that if you're trying to use him as a defensive back, possibly playing a little safety, don't know that I trust him, deep. He's got to work on his, just route awareness, things that I think are kind of hindering him from being a higher pick in this draft. So maybe you use him at nickel. Maybe he, proves he can be outside. Maybe he turns into a safety. I think he's got a lot of talent, could help you on special teams right away. 4.45 speed, only 21. I think this kid, man, he's just tough as nails. Loved his game. I would be very happy if the Eagles drafted him. But let's keep this train rolling here. And up next is a guy dealing with an ACL injury. Really unfortunate. He really came on the year before. But this kid, dude, he's 6'2", seen him listed at 6'3", 194. This is somebody who's really fun to watch. And I think that one of these teams out here, a guy like him with 4.4 speed, maybe takes a chance. Now, he is 24 years old, so that maybe is where he could possibly fall into the second round. But I think this dude, he's got a great story. He used to work at Amazon in the warehouse there. He has a really cool story, walk on at East Carolina. And man, this dude, he is really effing fun to watch. He's got great athleticism, speed. So it's crazy that, he wasn't already playing, but whatever. I just think that this dude, he's got a good football IQ. It's awesome to see him out there. I think that he's got the ball skill ability, everything you need out of a corner. I think somebody's going to get a chance at him, and they're going to take him. But that ACL injury, that is concerning. You never know how these guys come back from that. But, man, when he's on the field, he's a stud. Obviously, the competition there, blah, blah, blah. We heard it about Quinyon Mitchell. It's fine. I think Siobhan Revel here would be a stud, and I'd be ecstatic if the Philadelphia Eagles got him. Now, up next, I had this dude at number 1 at one point, and this is now the top 5. So, Jahdae Barron, this is somebody for me that I struggled because, look, he's 5'11", 183. I think he really, in this system, if you draft him, I think he could be playing safety. He could be, that sub-package defensive back where not necessarily right away, but eventually he could be a safety in this league. I just think he's got, just like we talked about with Cooper DeJean, so much talent, but on a team that needs a corner, this dude, do not get me wrong, he can do it all. And I think that he is going to be one of the best corners. I just think he's somebody that has the ability to play in man, play in zone, like we talk about. And I think he plays really damn good against the run. His tackling, it's nice to see a corner that actually tackles like that. And he'll press you. He is one of my favorites, if not the favorite. And if the Eagles get him, I'm telling you, I will lose my mind. I think he is perfect for this defense. Vic Fangio could use him as a chess piece, just like he will with Cooper DeJean, Sidney Brown. I think you'd have a lot of fun there. So sign me up. But the problem I have here, same with Ravel, I'm not sure that he's going to be there. I'm not sure that you would trade up to get him. But, man, if he falls to 32, take him, and I'm jumping through the roof. Now, the same goes for this next guy, Will Johnson. Man, this dude is a freak of nature, 6'2", 202 pounds. Unfortunately, dealing with a hamstring injury and turf toe. So, again, you don't want to be concerned about injuries, but it is something that, you will have to bring up. And for me, I don't care. And I know he's got 4, 5, 6 speed, so that's another thing that concerns some people, but not really me. I don't just look at that 40 time. You want to look at his overall game. And this is a dude that can play zone and man. I think he needs to work on his zone skills, though. Could work on his run, tackling, and just his run game all around, I would have to say. But he is, dude, he's got the football IQ. He's got the athleticism, the size, everything you want. He's tough as nails. This dude would be a phenomenal Philadelphia Eagle. I would jump through the roof. But he can play all over, man. It wouldn't matter who drafted him. He's going to do well in the NFL. He's going to be one of the better corners as well, just like with Barron. I think that this is going to be tough to get someone like him. I think another team's going to, be ecstatic to have a guy like him. And he's a big dude, and he's a freak athlete, and he's awesome. So, I just don't have him at number 1 because I don't know that we'll be able to get him. Now, up next, number 3 here. Darian Porter out of Iowa State. And look, I know he's 24 years old, but 4.3 speed and look, 6'3", 200 pounds. I think this kid, he could drop a little bit. And that's what I'm praying for here. I don't know that we have to go right away, high for a corner here when you got a kid like this here. And the speed at 4.3 when he's 6'3", and his just ball hawking skills, he is just somebody that would be able to come in right away. And I think, he would show off on special teams. He's a former track star. So this is somebody that would come in right away. I think could work on a little bit with his zone, but he's really fun to watch in coverage. He does, I think, better in man. Could work on, his run game a little bit, but man. if you could really get him the right coaching, bring him here, and just really try to hone in his skill set with that, freakish size and athleticism, you could find yourself a diamond in the rough. But that would be, maybe second, third round if he falls there. And I would be all for it. Up next, now, if you don't want to use one of those the top pick in the first or maybe even the second, I don't know that this guy falls, but I think maybe he does, just because I know teams a lot of times look at 40 times and other things. And he's 6 foot, 195 round, Quinyon Mitchell size. And this mother effer is really fun to watch. That's why he's my number 2 here. I know he has a 4.5 speed, but he's 22 years old. And man, if he goes in that, third round, oh, dude, this is the kind of guy, tough as nails, ball hawk. He is somebody that really, I enjoyed watching him, mimic players. His route recognition is really awesome. I just think he's got that Philadelphia Eagles swagger to him. And he's just a playmaker, man, a ball hawk, like I said. But he's definitely going to have to work on a lot of things. He's going to need to be developed a little bit, just kind of with his hip movement, things like that. But you can see it, man. He's got the skills. And I think that, he just needs the right coaching, which is with most of these guys, dude, during college. So that's where you find these diamonds in the rough and diamonds in the rough. But Noel Williams, to me, is one of those guys. And I think he would be awesome on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if you're looking to spend pick 32, or maybe they trade back or something happens, they trade up. Not sure how people are feeling. We'll see how the run on corners goes there. But I don't know that, other than Will Johnson, if you consider Hunter there, Barron, maybe they go, maybe Morrison. But Trey Amos, I think, has been slept on for far too long. And this is somebody who actually visited with the Eagles, which got me a little more excited because I am a fan of this young man and spent a few years at Louisiana and then transferred to Alabama for a year. Then he went to Ole Miss, where I thought he had a really great year. So to me, Trey Amos, my number 1 fit at corner, he's got it all, man. The whole package of everything we've been talking about, but he's got that 4.43 speed, 6'1", 195, so the perfect size. He's 23, if you want to consider that old, whatever. But you see a 54.5 passer rating allowed. See what PFF gave him there in stats. He did allow 2 touchdowns, but, dude, I'm telling you, he can do it all. He tackles well. He's good against the run. Great, just all-around zone man. I think he would fit into any scheme here. He presses people well. He's got that toughness you're looking for. And I think that this is a guy, you put him on here, he gets those turnovers. If you have Amos, Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean, I'm running through an effing wall after this draft. I would lose my mind. It would be the greatest trio of corners Eagles I've ever seen, and that's saying something. But I think he needs a little bit, development here with, some of the things with his technique and just, his hands. And, look, again, a young man where you give him a little work here in this defense, Vic Fangio gets his hands on him. I think this kid would be a superstar. And that's, dude, we already have 2 in the making with Q Mitch and Coop already there, in my opinion. But, wow, a lot of great corners here. And there were some that I wasn't even able to talk about. Didn't have them on my list. But you see my top 12 there. So let me know how you feel. You agree with that list? You like any of those guys? You dislike anybody? You want to add somebody? Love to hear your thoughts. Hope you're having yourselves a great week. Sorry, it's a late video. Been a late day. Going to be a late one tomorrow. We're doing Fan Friday Live. Hope to see you there. But we're going to finish off the safeties on Saturday, and then we'll be having some fun leading into next week for the draft. So I hope to see you then. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe down below, join the family. You need anything, you can always reach out to me. Always here for you guys as you are for me. But all I've got for you here tonight. So until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!